Greetings and welcome to One Spherical Love Church, Spirituality in a Modern World, presented by Unispherical Muse, LLC. When any human being is inspired, they're in spirit. That means you have air, earth, fire, water. Now when you flow into ether, and then you flow into another solid wood, each one has its own personality. Now when you look at air, is the mind. When you look at the body, that is earth. When you look at fire, that is spirit. Spirit is passion. When you look at water, that is emotions. That is the four bodies of being. Mind, body, emotion, spirit. The four bodies of being create the core being, that is the soul. The soul is the teacher to the spirit, that is the student. The spirit is the teacher to the human, that is the student. As I really do enjoy mythology. It is my passion, because why else would I get a degree in behavioral science anthropology? I prefer culture anthropology over physical anthropology. Typically, an anthropologist will examine bones, and then they call it the hard science. And when they examine the bones, it tells the story of what happened to the bones, the type of lifestyle those bones lived. It's an absolutely fascinating world. Now, as you go through college and you have to get your degree, you're going to take English classes and all kinds of lovely classes. I was told before, it's not just about getting a college degree. It's actually learning how to learn. That's what education's about. They give you this information, but if you don't know how to factor it into your life, it really just falls by the wayside, and you forget about it. As the saying is, you don't use it, you lose it. And I really wanted to get a degree in epistemology, which is the study of knowledge. From the day I was born in this existence, my mind is like a sponge. There's never enough information, because it's just absolutely fascinating life. Life is just so much fun, because you get to gain all these experiences. That's why you're a spirit that has come to earth to experience. And that's what you're doing. You're coming to have an experience. Now, when you attach an emotion to that experience, you then just went from fire. You had an emotion. You then went to, think about it, air, earth, fire, water. So you go from one element to the next element, to another element, and then you come back to the first element. And that's the way it works. It's kind of like when I was a kid. It's like, what was the point and purpose of humans being born with emotions? Well, because you have to learn how to be the elements. This is why you were born with emotions. Pretty simple stuff when you learn how to become a deep thinker like me. And you learn pretty much human way of thinking in 3D third dimension is quantum physics and metaphysics in a spiritual sense. That's what it's all about. Now, I do enjoy mythology. It is my passion. And the mythology is absolutely fascinating. The adventures that many had before me. And you get this gleam in your eye that I wish I could have been there at that time and space. I wish I could have done all that stuff. So then they even in the thing called movies. So you kind of get to hang out in a stupid box, which is TV. I threw mine away 18 years ago. So you get to kind of hang out in this stupid box in the land of yesteryear and mythology when you're watching a movie. Now, I always thought that was fascinating. I'll never forget is Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. So Homer wrote 2 stories. And when I find a book that I just love, I keep it for a lifetime. It goes into my private collection. Now, I have clip notes on Homer's The Odyssey because I had a class, I had to take notes. But you want the short version because you're you gotta write a book report or whatever, right? So this book, I don't know, at the time somebody wrote 2008, but cliff notes, I really don't know what year this was made, but it's called The Odyssey. And it tells you who the characters are and what the characters were about, and suggested readings and all that. So as I'm watching the movie Odysseus, part 1 and part 2, in part 2, I'm reading from Homer's The Odyssey cliff notes because I knew I'd heard this before. Tiresias is the one that said, and it was like a little bell went off in my head. And I remember for almost all my life, it's not the end result. It is the adventure in which you create your memory. That is a short version. That's my short version of what Tiresias had said. Now, in book 11, The Wandering of Odysseus, The Descent into Hades. Hades is the underworld. Now, I'm quoting from the book, Cliff Notes. The commentary. The visit of Odysseus to Hades embodies another common folklore motif and has many parallels even in Greek mythology. For example, in the legends about Osiris, Theseus, and Hercules, this episode serves several important functions in the context of the story by providing an opportunity for more contrast with the fate of Armageddon by giving a new view of the Trojan War and the heroic ideal which Odysseus is superseding during his wanderings through the conversation with Achilles, and by demonstrating the consequences of the long absence of Odysseus from Ithaca through his unexpected meeting with his dead mother. Now, in the movie, Homer, he has to go to the underworld. And when he meets Tiresias, he tells him it is not Achilles. It is not his destination of where it is that he is going. It is the path that he is traveling that he will remember. So he's been trying to get home for so many years, and his home is Ithaca. He's been trying to get home for so many years, but he couldn't get there because there was too many obstacle courses in his way. Well, by this part of the segment of book 11, his son is now the age of 15. He's never met his father. He did meet his father, but he had to leave before his baby was of age to even know who he is. And everyone in his family assumes, as the years roll by, he is dead. His wife, Penelope, does not give up and knows that her husband is still alive. He must find a way to get back home, because home is where the heart is. Home is where you hang your hat. Seriously, pay attention. Stop rushing to your destination. As they say, stop and smell the roses along the way. In the mornings when I'm going to work, everybody is, straight up pumping out hot air out of their mouth and out their head because they're in a hurry to get to work, called their grave. Why are you trying to hurry to kill yourself? Because along the way, when you hurry anything in life, it will just get messed up. That just means that you're asking for an accident. So slow down. Leave your home a bit earlier, if that's what need be. Give yourself the sanity of a peace of mind. As I'm driving to work, I'm bumping my beats. And no, I don't listen to the radio, it's just garbage. I have my earbuds, and I have the music very low. Now, the fact that I'm permanently deaf in one ear because of radiation cancer treatments, I would have to put my music very loud if I had it on the radio. But with the earbuds, I can put it very low at like a number 2 or something. I mean, very, very low. And I hear the music, and then it soothes the heart as I'm drinking my natural morning coffee that is full of minerals and vitamins to get me through the day. As I'm going, I just look at the people going by, speeding like crazies. It's like, have a nice life. I'll get there when I get there. Because I leave home an hour early to get to work that takes 20 minutes. If you get the chance, really, it's a very fascinating story. Because you have to understand, it's not just the surface of Homer's The Odyssey. It is the messages that are being conveyed to you from eons in time of your elders teaching you about life. And remember, mythology is just human history. So it's not just his travels and you just want to hurry up and get home. There are many lessons that he learned along the way. And that's what life is about. There are lessons. And the lessons are to learn how to love self. And the lesson is to teach self-love. That's what it's about. Everything. In each and every way. So Homer's The Odyssey is one that will play out in my heart for all of lifetime. And guess what? It becomes interwoven into your DNA so that it will pop up again in your next life, because what it is, for each soul, you have birth, death, and rebirth, and that is reincarnation. Check out the movie. Check out the Cliff Notes. Take the class if at all possible. You will learn much, and it will help guide you in your life to find out who you are. And life is love, love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, DDIV, PhD. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for your support.